Hi everybody from TechnoLost, so welcome to the dedicated focus on the gaming capabilities for what concerns this Huawei Ascend P6. Well, I just want to show you a few things before we start this focus. The first one deals with the internal memory. This device has 8 gigabytes of internal expandable via microSD card slot storage, but user available we have 4.82 gigabyte of internal storage, which means that if we used to install quite heavy games like FIFA 14 or even Need for Speed Most Wanted or Real Racing 3 or whatever, I mean, you don't have enough space. You can even move the app to the microSD card as I did for instance for Real Racing 3, but it's not the biggest part of the app which is moving to the SD card slot. I mean, not the 1.42 gigabyte, but just the 22.55 megabytes, which means that there's not so much space left for other data. One way to solve this situation may be for instance to get root privilege and then use one of the app present into the App Store, which lets you remap a given path on the SD card with a path into the internal memory. This way you can install games directly into the SD card slot without any kind of problem. Another thing that I want to show you, this device has a very good power management settings, and here we can select the smart or normal or endurance mode, and depending on what you selected you may get more or less battery power, of course, and even more or less standby time. But what is really interesting is that even if you select the smart or the endurance mode, you can in certain way override what you selected for certain for certain application, just getting into the manage apps here. Then if you select an application like I did for every game that I install on this Ascend P6, you can directly select performance mode enable, which means that this way you will override the settings that you have for the power management. This is really interesting indeed. So sorry, these were the two settings that I wanted to talk to you about before installing this game. Given the fact that we have just 4.82 gigabyte of internal storage user available, I installed several games, but I could not install, for instance, completely Need for Speed Most Wanted because I didn't have enough space left after installing other games like Real Racing 3 or even FIFA 14. So let's see how this device behaves with games like Real Racing 3. Did I select the game? No, maybe I didn't. Sorry guys. Okay, the game is starting. So given the benchmark result, if you already seen the benchmark focus that I've done on this Ascend P6, you maybe already know that this device can be compared with the Nexus 4, which is according to me the most fair competitors of this Ascend P6. Given the Nexus 4 capabilities, this device is quite on par with the Nexus 4, at least for what concerns general usage. Maybe is slightly better than the Nexus 4, but for what concerns 3D graphics, the Adreno 320 inside the Nexus 4, it's still better than the GC 4000 that we can find inside this P6. So we may expect not brilliant result, at least not on par with what we had with the Nexus 4. Let's see if this is true. Okay, the game is about to start in a few seconds. Here we go. Well, it does seems to be very smooth. I didn't expect such a smooth game. Okay, we had just a little bit of stuttering, but that's negligible. I mean, we have very good smoothness for what concerns this game. It doesn't seem to have any kind of problem. This is very good. I mean, I thought that the GC 4000, you know, maybe couldn't be on par with the 320, the Adreno 320, but it does seem here that the device is, you know, working really well with this Real Racing 3. Smooth, no problem, no lag, very nice, I must admit. And the display is very nice itself, so it's really a pleasure to play Real Racing 3 with this Ascend P6. Okay, and this was Real Racing 3 with the Ascend P6. Sorry guys, let's go on with the next game, which is sadly not Need for Speed Most Wanted, as I didn't have enough space to install even Need for Speed Most Wanted, but FIFA 14. Just, you know, bear with me, because I'm not a very good player at FIFA, and you know, I've just installed this game maybe 2 days ago, and I didn't have that much time to play, so I'm not that big player. Okay, game of the week. Let's start the game. Oh, nice music. You're lucky that you can't see me dancing. Okay, here we go. This is FIFA 14 on the Ascend P6. As you can see, it does seem to run very well, no problem. Good graphic details at least. Okay, let's start game. Okay, I will try to do my best, I promise, but bear with me because I'm not a good player. Okay, I tried the impossible. Ecco, sorry. What a bad player. Anyway, beside my terrible performance, the game seems to run very good. No problem. I don't have enough terms of comparison for this kind of game. I don't know if it's really a heavy game or not. Nevertheless, it does run very good. No problem. Let me see if I can at least, you know, perform a shot with this game. Okay, better than nothing. That was my bad me with FIFA 14. Now let's go directly to the next game, which is Dead Trigger. Dead Trigger from Mad Fingers. You may know that the Dead Trigger version 2 is ought to be released on October 23rd, if I'm not wrong. And I'm really looking forward to see Dead Trigger 2, because I do love Dead Trigger. So, and I saw some, you know, screenshot and some in-game play, and it did seem to be very nice game, very good graphic, very nice. So in the meanwhile, let's see how does this Dead Trigger runs on in, you know, with this Ascend P6. Okay, here we have the corner where I used to have the here we go, the small stuttering. Every Android device that I did try this game on had the same stuttering at that very same corner. It's like, you know, it's like a universal truth for this Dead Trigger. The game is extremely fluid, as you can see, no problem, no lag. Okay, this was Dead Trigger. Very nice game, very smooth, no problem really, as you may see. Very good. So this was Dead Trigger on this Ascend P6. Now let's see the next game, which is Into the Dead, if I'm not wrong. No, it's Shadowgun Deadzone. Okay, it's by the same developers of Dead Trigger, which are Mad Fingers. This game is very nice because we can play a multiplayer game. It is a cross-platform game, so we can play against people running iOS, for instance. The next Dead Trigger 2 will be even a multi-platform game, and we won't have only mobile platforms, but we will even have platform like Mac, PC, or even running on Facebook. as you may saw, the device seems to be slightly slower than usual for starting games. Nothing dramatic, but definitely is not as fast as other devices, like even the Nexus 4 in starting games at least. Okay, that much. Let's see if we can find a game to play in. Okay, it seems that we did find a match. And here we go. Okay. Spawn. Let me see if I'm able to play a little bit. The game seems to be not perfectly smooth, but nevertheless is very playable. Okay. As you did see, the game is not perfectly smooth or fast as it was, for instance, Dead Trigger. As you can see, we have some kind of stuttering when panning around, but wow. Okay, definitely I'm not really playing this game without the gamepad. To be honest, I'm not an ace even with the gamepad, but without I'm terrible. Just one kill, please. No. Okay, it's better if I give up. Anyways, you can see the graphics is good, but the game is quite enjoyable and playable, no problem. Although it's not perfectly smooth, as I mean, we can play no problem at all. Okay, it's better to give up. This is not my best night for playing games. Next one that I want to show you is Into the Dead. Sorry. This game does seem to have some problem for what concerns this Ascend P6. I'm not quite sure if it's a problem dealing with the game itself or the Ascend P6 driver. I mean the graphic card driver. But we do have some problem, as you will see in a few seconds. When the game runs, sometimes we have some small black frame. I mean, the game remains smooth, fluid, no problem, but we have some black frames, like there's something not working really well here. I'm not quite sure if it is something that we can fix for the game update, or we need something for the, as you can see, did you see the black? I mean, this is definitely some kind of problem with the graphic card, but not sure if it's a game or the device itself. Anyway, the game is smooth, as you can see, no problem for concern speed. These blackouts are not that nice to play this game. Okay, I guess we can end up here. Okay, and this was into the death. Now we can go on. The next game that I want to show you is the Beach Buggy Blitz. Beach Buggy Blitz by Vector Unit. I mean, it's not quite a recent game, but nevertheless it's a good game to test devices with. I mean, it's if you follow me, usually you know that I use this game a lot for testing. This game was made as a showcase for the Tegra 3 hardware architecture, and it's indeed, although a very maybe a simple game, not that difficult to play with, but nevertheless the graphic details is quite heavy. Not the heaviest of course, but quite heavy. So let's start again with the maximum graphical details, just to show you that at this details level we have some problem with the Ascend P6. I mean, the game, we can play the game, but to me this is definitely too slow. It's not fluid. I mean, you can always play the game at this speed, it's up to you, but according to me this is not the best speed in town. As you can see, we have some micro stuttering here and there. If we just pause the game a second and change the graphic details to the medium level like this, we resume the game, you will see in a few seconds that the speed is very much improved. And although it does remain some stuttering, but you should know that these games is not perfect on any Android device that I tried it on. Here remains very enjoyable, and much more enjoyable than at the maximum graphical details. And this was Beach Buggy Blitz. Now these are the games that I want to show you was made by Vector Unit 2. Is the recent Riptide GP2. It has a very good graphic details, very nice. You know, water effect is a very good looking game, and of course it does have the settings for what concern the graphical details. And here once more I want to show you that at the maximum level we do have some stuttering for what concern graphic. But at a medium level the game is completely enjoyable and we don't have any kind of problem at all. I mean, we can even play it as it was for Beach Buggy Blitz. We can play the game, of course, even at the maximum graphical detail setup. But as you will see, the game sorry, is not perfectly smooth at these graphical details. As you can see, it does run, but you may notice that we don't have the best smoothness in town at these graphic details. Oh, I missed the ramp, sorry guys. You may appreciate it, especially if I study turbo mode and we have kind of blur effect. As you see, the blur effect is not perfect. Okay, let me show you now. If I pause the game, we have to quit the game, or we won't be able, sorry, to change the graphic details. We get back to settings here. Oops, not control, but rather graphics. Okay, and we set up the medium details. Okay, let's play the game again, and you will see that the game gained very much for what concerns smoothness, and the graphic remains very enjoyable. Very nice water effect, very nice water transparency. As you can see, the game now is really smooth, no problem. Even if I do start the turbo mode in a few seconds, you will see the blur effect is very good here, no problem. Okay, me is the problem, but beside me, the game runs really good. Oops. Okay, I'm not able to play tonight, sorry. So these graphical details, medium graphical details, the game, sorry, runs very nicely. Okay, and this was Riptide GP2. Now the last game that I want to show you is Virtua Tennis. I mean, this game usually has no problem for what concern graphical performance, so I won't expect anything less here. Given the fact that this Ascend P6 right now has been a very good, nice surprise to me. I did expect, I did expect, you know, I did expect worst result from this Ascend P6, but I must admit that it's behaving very nicely in running these games. We just had few problem with the Into the Dead, but you know, maybe sometimes you have to lower down a little bit the graphic details, but this is a very good compromise to me, because we still have very good graphic details and we gain so much in speed and smoothness. Okay, as you can see, the Virtua Tennis game is running very good, no problem. Okay, and I'm teaching this one how to play. Sorry guys, I do like tennis, so that's why I really like playing this game. Oops, out. Anyway, this was Virtua Tennis. You can see no problem in graphics, very good graphics, very good speed. And I do remind you that this game does support, you know, in a wonderful way, even the gamepad. And this was then the last game of this Focus Virtua Tennis. So, you know, a quick recap. This device is quite good in playing games, much better than I expected. We had to do, you know, some compromise for concern graphic details, and we just had few problem just with the Into the Dead till now. So very good behavior for this Ascend P6 for concern game capabilities. For the dedicated focus on the gaming capabilities then of this Ascend P6, that's all. Once more, thanks for watching and bye from TechnoLost.